continues. Some of it is, not your doing. It's a matter of the economic situation, but in order to get out of the economic situation we're in, it takes leadership, and we can't wait for the ripple to hit us, because by the time, if there was any economic recovery that was happening, by the time the ripple gets to us, it will have diminished completely. So how do we take the bull by the horns and wrestle that issue? And I understand that visioning sometimes is a long-term thing, and sometimes we're not reelected, but in the event that you were reelected, what would that vision look like? Where would you take this community, and how would you get the people to rally around the flagpole and move forward? That's it.
That was excellent. That's very well put. I appreciate your input, Jerry. Well, I think we can all take a turn at addressing that if you'd like to. Want some of our responses. Vision is a multiple, many people have different visions on what we're going to do and how we're going to do it, and it does require leadership to move this community forward. So we all have different ideas. I mean, we can answer that, some of that now. We can talk about it.
Well, my main concern is typically I want to know which direction is north and how you're getting all of the departments and your direction going that way. While there are multiple ones, there's usually a single true north. What is that?
We will be, I will be the one presenting at, I guess, the State of the City Chamber of Commerce event, as I did last year, and we are preparing our talking points and talk about the vision then. That will be a professional, official statement type of a situation, but just on a personal level, I think we probably all have different visions, but we all have some common things. And I think each one of us, I believe in each of these fellow commissioners, they want the best for Shelton. They want businesses to stay in Shelton. They want a positive business community. They want a nice place to live and work. I believe both of these people really do, as I know I do. Getting a single vision on how that's accomplished requires us to continue to talk about it as we do in our retreats and in our commission meetings. And again, this is just my ramble on this situation. We have public input here, which you are doing, which is good. That helps us in shaping our vision. We have quarterly reports or yearly reports by different clubs and different groups, Historical Preservation Board, that help us determine what we want to do and how we want to shape this community. It is the people of this community. It's their vision that they voted for us to enact. That's what our job is, to hear from business owners and residences and to take their wishes and bring them into reality. I think that's what leadership is. And yeah, it's not totally, we just don't snap our fingers and it's done, but getting us together on how we would do things like that, I think that's what we are working towards.
Right. And one would hope that after everything is said and done, there's more done than said.
Absolutely. Thank you, Jerry. You should speak more often. That was my one take of it there. I don't know if Commissioner Pennell or Commissioner Olson wanted to speak about that, or.
I'll just leave with what you said for now.
We're working on things. Obviously, Shelton Hills is something that I think one part of it is something that will be beneficial to the growth of this city. And
but with due respect, and I agree with you, Shelton Hills will definitely be a shot in the arm to this community. But I want to point your vision down Railroad and down Coda, and I want you to look at the empty storefronts. Are you, a vision or moving forward is, what is that dream that you see of the city? Do you see those storefronts lined with high-rise buildings, or do you see them as like a Leavenworth-like theme town? And how do we get there? I have not heard any sort of vision about what we would actually look like in 5, 10, 20 years. Will we be completely empty, or will we be reborn? And in order to be reborn, someone has to lead the way and have the vision. And that's all I'm looking for, is that someone and that vision.
All right, thank you very much, Jerry, for your input. I don't know, Commissioner Pinal, did you have anything you want to add to that? Or,
Just that my vision over the last 12 years has been to improve the infrastructure, and I think we've done that. So I'm ready now to pass that on to somebody else.
Sounds good. And Jerry, if you know,
guys have done a good job of that.
you know, you're always welcome to, run and get elected to one of these positions too, if you wanted to make a bigger mark. I mean, just, well, I mean, you could be a port commissioner or a county commissioner too. And it sounds like you could have some good ideas to share with everybody, but we'll leave it at that. And I will be speaking at that State of the City Chamber of Commerce event, and I will be sharing what we do have, okay? Thank you very much. Next on our item is called the consent agenda. Have my fellow commissioners had time to review the material in the consent agenda? Looks like we have. Could we please have a reading of the consent agenda?
Consent agenda, vouchers numbered 80442 through 80529 in the amount of $668,525.77. Manual warrant numbered 80530 in the amount of $29,259.85 to Department of Revenue. Commission meeting minutes from business meeting of February 19th, 2013, study session of February 25th, 2013. Shelton Historic Preservation Board reappointment, Mr. Bill Busaka, for a term ending December 2014.
Do we have a motion to approve the consent agenda?
I move we approve the consent agenda.
Second the motion?
There's a motion and a second. Is there any further discussion? If not, all those in favor signify by saying aye.
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 Aye. Opposed? The motion carries. Next item of business is item number F under old business, and we are going to be having just an answer to some questions concerning a side loader, and by our acting Public Works Director, Mike Michael.
Thank you, Mayor Commissioners. As I recall, the primary question was, what are we going to do with the old truck? Typical assumption would be that we would plan on surplusing that equipment through the appropriate processes laid out in the RCWs. I did get a chance to talk with John Deacon, the EM&R lead, and that was the original thought. And as he got talking with Mike McLean last week after the briefing, there's been further discussions about whether or not that's what we really want to do. There's some thought from the solid waste folks that it may make sense to hold on to that truck for now as a backup and for special uses such as yard waste recycling and the such. So it is a little bit up in the air. We've got essentially two options. We can keep it for continued use, or we can surplus it as would be allowed by state statute. And in that case, we would be bringing back a resolution to the commission authorizing staff to do that if that's the decision that's chosen. So,
Are there any questions from my fellow commissioners, comments on this item?
I think it's a good idea. No sense in selling it without thinking about it a little bit. Not a big hurry.
Yeah, I'm the one that brought the question forward just because I wasn't sure. And I think that it is good. If you have to have a piece of equipment, buying it usually is a lot more expensive than if you have something that can be used that you have. And so as long as we're not stacking like 10 of these up someplace in a yard,
no, at this point, we've thinned out the herd, so to speak, and there was a past issue. Steve and I were talking about this earlier. There was a past issue with some of the older trucks being a little bit less reliable, so there was more need for backups. We're still in a situation where maybe that's the case, but as we move forward, we'll be able to continue to reevaluate that, and when we don't need it, we'll ship it off to somebody that can use it and take the benefits of a little bit of cash infusion back into the solid waste group at that point.
All right. Any other questions or comments from the commission? Seeing none, I at this point asked if there's any public comment on this action item. Seeing none, then it appears that the staff is recommending to approve the vendor award for the Western Peterbilt, Inc. And so I would request a motion at this time.
I would make a motion to authorize the purchase of the Peterbilt automated side loader with Labrie Atomizer split body, and authorize the commission, or the mayor to sign, I'm assuming? Oh, okay, authorize the commission to sign the award form.
Second that?
There's a motion and a second. Is there any further discussion? All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed? The motion carries. There is no new business to bring forward at this time, but we do have an administration report by our city administrator, Dave O'Leary.
Okay, this has to do with real estate purchase and sale. And this specifically has to do with the property that used to have the Park Manor apartments. Those were demolished in 2008. In fact, the city demolished them in 2008 using a court order that allowed us to bill the property owner and then collect. If we couldn't get paid, then we would collect through the property taxes, and that's what's happened. And we're coming up to the point where there'll be a foreclosure sale on it. The original cost and lien amount was $65,000, and the current amount that we're owed by the time you factor in accrued interest, which is pretty high interest rate in today's world, but nevertheless that's what you get through that system, is $105,000. As it happens, the county's also owed back taxes on it around $5,200. Essentially, in order to protect our equity in the property at the tax sale, we need to buy it ourselves, or at least offer it to someone to buy besides ourselves, so that we can just get cashed out. Just about everybody you talk to, and we discussed this in executive session, doesn't think that there's any way that we're going to get the $105,000 out of it. So had a discussion over what the value might be, and so the commission indicated that maybe the smart thing to do is reduce the price. Maybe there'll be a buyer that will want to get it at a reasonably good price out of the tax foreclosure sale. So I think there wasn't any interest in speculating or holding it for speculation. It was mainly, we just need to sell it and then use the money for additional abatements. So the discussion that we indicated that we should lower, and we can do this, our expected yield from the sale from $105,000 to $44,000. That would make the property available for under $50,000, for $49,200 and change. It would also, and we thought maybe we'll have a buyer at that amount, and if not, then we would ultimately list the property for sale once it came into our ownership. If we didn't get a buyer come and bid at the sale, then we would do the same ourselves. So the question before you is, shall we instruct the treasurer to lower our claim against the property from the $105,000 down to $44,000?
It appears that that's what we talked about, and it appears we have a consensus on doing that.
We would like to have a motion
Yes.
authorizing the city administrator to write a letter informing.
Yeah, or communicate to the assessor that that's our choice.
So would we entertain that motion here at this meeting now?
Yeah, I'd like you to
Okay.
make that motion, if that's possible. Move to authorize that the city's net proceeds be $44,000 from the tax sale of the Park Manor apartments property. Park Manor property.
I would move that we authorize the city administrator to give permission to the county treasurer to offer the price, the property, Park Manor property at $44,000.
Net yield
Net yield, $44,000
to the city,
to the city, yes.
I'll second the motion.
There's a motion and a second. All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Aye. Opposed? That motion carries. Is there any more on your administration report?
No, Your Honor.
Very good. We also have an opportunity for general public comment. Again, 3-minute limit. Seeing no more signed up, we will move forward with the administration final touches.
Touches. Anybody got touches other than what's on the form? No touches, Your
Very
Honor.
good. This meeting, our next meeting is Monday, March 11th, 2013, at 2 p.m. in the afternoon. This meeting is adjourned. Thank you.